APOE gene codes a protein called apolipoprotein E, which is involved in cholesterol transport and processing, as well as glucose metabolism around the body and particularly in our brain. This gene has three alleles or variants, E2, E3, and E4, and each of us has two copies of this gene, one from the mother and one from the father. So there is a total of 6 APOE genotype versions. E2, 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 E3, 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 and so on. E3, E3 is the most common genotype, and it's considered baseline against which the relative risks of Alzheimer's disease linked with other genotypes are compared. So Alzheimer's risk with E3, E3 genotype is 1.0. E2, E2 is the rarest genotype on Earth. Less than 1% of the world's population has this genotype, and it is associated with a 40% risk reduction. So if we compare E2, E2 to E3, E3, the relative risk is 0.6. And even having only one protective E2 allele along with a neutral E3, which is about 5 to 10% global population, will reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Notably, the E2 variant is also linked with longevity, even if viewed independent of Alzheimer's disease. So it's a very good option if you have that. Now, the E4 variant is what increases the risk, even if present along with a protective E2 or neutral E3, let alone if both genes are E4. And the risk of Alzheimer's when E4 is present will be increased between 2 and 12 times. So in the situation when the person gets E4 from their mom and from their dad, resulting in E4 genotype, and this is about 2 to 3% of the population worldwide, these individuals will be 12 times more likely to get Alzheimer's, and the onset of this disease may be earlier by years. Notably, persons with E4 genotype are also 81% less likely to reach extreme old age, which is defined 97 years for men and 100 years for women. So let's look at what makes E4 variant so bad for the brain and longevity altogether.